Hello, how's it going?
Hi, how are you, Sarah?
I'm good. We're literally just saying hi to each other because I sat down about 10 seconds before this.
Just in
U-
time.
Usually I have time to talk a little bit with our guest, but today I dropped my kids off at the park, and kids always take about 20 minutes longer than you want them to. So I got here just in time, and I'm super excited to see what Rebecca has planned for us today. As you know, she is the Kumihimo Queen, and I imagine you've got something pretty cool planned today, right, Rebecca?
I do indeed. Today's project is the Onward necklace, and this is something that I designed specifically with beginners in mind. Because every time I come on your show, we get all these wonderful comments from people that are like, "Oh, I really want to try Kumihimo, but I haven't. Oh, it's kind of intimidating, or I tried it and I'm scared." So this project is for you if you've been wanting to try Kumihimo and you haven't, or maybe you tried it in the past and it's been a while and you want to get back into it. This is great for you. And if you already know Kumihimo, well, you're going to learn a really cool wire wrapping technique to finish. And I think this has all sorts of possibilities that are really
I
interesting. Let
love
me
that.
let me show you. Switch cameras. So this is the Onward. So this is a Kumihimo beaded rope. We're working with size 8 seed beads. I love size 8 seed beads. I think they're the best fit. Just the way they fit on the nylon cord is just perfect. So you get a really nice texture and you don't need a core. So that makes them beginner friendly. And then look what we're doing with the end of this with the soft flex wire. Let me zoom in and get us on camera here.
Ooh.
So we're making, stay in frame, Rebecca. We're making an extra long loop, and then we're gonna wire wrap this. We're gonna do that for both ends, and then make your own little S hook clasp so that you can hook these together. And
So
I just think,
handy.
right, there's just like a lot you can do with this, and I think it's fun that it doesn't use end caps, right? It's just a little bit different. And wire wrapping always puts your own personal touch on the piece. So
Yeah, I love that. And that craft wire comes in lots of different colors, so you can match your color of your clasp and your end caps to your design, which is kind of cool too.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So these kits come in a few different colors, and you'll see the one I'm going to demo with. We're going to be using the silver colored craft wire. This one is the what's it called? Antique brass, I think is the name of this color. And then we had some that we did with gold. So yeah, it comes in lots of great colors so that you can customize your design. And once you've mastered this technique, I think it really opens up lots of possibilities. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure you have some, other cool
Today
things.
we have Kristen moderating. Thomas is off for the week. It's his birthday week. So you'll see Kristen popping in the background. Of course, we've got the wonderful and talented Rebecca Combs here with us as people are jumping on. We were just jumped right in to look at what Rebecca is going to make. We're super excited. You can see I popped a giveaway at the bottom of the screen as well if you want to enter. The directions are scrolling along the bottom, must be here at the end to win. And we've just got a ton of cool stuff to share with you today.
Awesome. Yeah, I wanted to show you some other things that we've been doing with the Softflex Craftware. I
Ooh,
really like working with it. It just has a great temper, comes in great finishes. So this is the Dreaming of Venice that we did a couple weeks ago. We still have some of these on the website. And this we wire wrapped with the Softflex wire, and just look how pretty it is, right? So everything you make can
ooh.
just be very elegant with the Softflex craft wire.
Yeah, those are some great loops too, like professional looking bail loops there.
Well, thank you. I made them myself.
I knew it. I knew your eye for detail.
All right, so let me show you guys how to get started with the Onward necklace. So you're gonna start by making your kumihimo braid. And if you've done kumihimo before, the thing that's different with this project is look how long our lead-in is. Normally, when we start a beaded rope, we just make a teeny tiny, like a 1/4 inch little nubbin without beads because we just chop it off and put the end cap on. But since we're gonna make this wire wrap loop, we need a much longer lead-in. So you're gonna braid 2 inches without beads. Now, one thing we did for this kit to make it more beginner friendly was we used 4 colors of the nylon braiding string. So when you get your kit and you open it up, you're going to find your 4 colors of the cords, and you're going to arrange them so that matching colors are catty corner. So top right, bottom left, or white. It doesn't matter like generally where the colors go other than that you have catty corner. And of course, we tell you all of that in the instructions. But what that does is it gives you a little extra landmark while you're braiding so you can tell right away if you've made a mistake. So your moves in kumihimo are top right down. So it started on the right and it finishes on the right. And then bottom left up. Starts on the left, finishes on the left. You can see how both of those are the same color. That's what we're going to be using. That's just a little landmark for us. And then we turn the disc. And you can turn it either way. You can turn it to the left. You can turn it to the right. It would be great if you could pick a direction and stick with it. That will be helpful for you later when you're learning more complicated braids where it matters. But on this braid, on Kongo Gumi, it doesn't matter which way you turn it. And it doesn't matter if you sometimes turn it left and sometimes turn it right. It'll still be okay. So top right down, bottom left up. And see how, again, those are both the same color. Those were both red. Top right down, bottom left up. And look, if I make a mistake here, a very popular mistake on your bottom left up is rather than going straight up, it's to cross over. And you see how now my greens are straight across from each other instead of catty corner? That helps you spot it right away. Go, uh-oh, those shouldn't be like that. You can just put it right back where it belongs. Top right down, bottom left up. We're using weighted bobbins on here. That helps to control your tension. That way you don't have to worry about it. And I've already pre-strung all of my size 8 seed beads. That way you don't have to watch me stringing beads because you guys already know how to do that. And then I also have a little clip-on weight on here. This is the counterweight. So I'm just going to braid this around and around until we get to 2 inches. So who here has done kumihimo before? You want to put in the comments whether or not you've tried kumihimo?
I have, and it's always such a relaxing, like meditative sort of craft.
That's what I like about it.
Yeah, and I think we can all agree this is a great time for those meditative, like don't have to think too hard sort of things. It's summer. There's a lot going on in the world, so it's just like a nice time to be doing something that is just sort of repetitive, relaxing.
Yeah, it's really rhythmic. And once you string your beads, it's also self-contained. So you can sit on the sofa or in whatever, comfortable space you have, or you can also take it out in the world with you. If you wanted to go to a cafe, get yourself a beverage. It's very portable.
Or even on a road trip. Like I just went camping last week, and this is a project you could totally take if you're not the driver
Very important point. Very important point. Not for the driver.
Yeah. Or when you get to the campsite, you're all set up and you've got that little bit of extra time, just kind of sit out in nature. You know, this is like a great craft that you can grab and go and enjoy.
Yeah, I love this for taking on road trips, or you can take it on airplanes too. I do have a tip for you if you're going to take it on an airplane. You want your cord tied to your bobbin, just in case it were to slip off. You don't want your bobbin to during takeoff to, you know, when the plane's like this, for it to just like roll down the aisle to the back of the airplane. You don't want to do that, or at least not more than once. So I just tie a slip knot on here. So I pull the cords around my fingers. I take the fingers out, reach through that loop, and then here's my slip knot, and I can just put that around the bobbin and tighten it up. And this way, even if the bobbin opens up or it slides or something, I won't lose it. It's good in the car too, because the under seat of my car, that's kind of like a black hole. I wouldn't want to drop something down there and have to fish around for it. All right.
I saw Susan said, your designs have really inspired me and I want to give Kumihimo a try. I thought that was just such a lovely, like, sweet comment that you needed to hear.
Oh, thank you. That is very sweet. All right. This isn't quite long enough, but since this is a live show, I'm not going to braid it as long as it needs to be because I already braided my sample one for the finishing demo. So let's see how it works when we do our beads. So the moves are going to be the same. I'm going to do top, right, down, but this time I'm going to let one bead come forward and I'm going to tuck it underneath this first perpendicular cross warp and then complete my move and bring it across. And so there's my bead, and then I do the same thing over here. So bottom left up, tuck that bead, bring it across. So top, right, down, tuck that bead in, bottom left up, tuck the bead in. So what you don't want is for the bead to sit on top. See how it isn't caught? Give it a little tuck, and that's how we want it to be. Another thing that's really helpful is having this stopping point where you have 3 at the bottom. So you've just done your top, right, down move. And if you need to take a break for any reason, you can just set this down, walk away, and when you come back, pick it back up. And you know that these 3 are at the bottom. You put that the side facing you. And then you know that your next move is the bottom left up.
Another really nice comment. This is a beautiful design. I've done Kumihimo, but never with beads. Hope to try it now after I watch you.
Oh, thank you so much.
I love that, Karen. And all of you, be sure that you are subscribed to Rebecca's YouTube channel. Rebecca, you're doing your videos on YouTube, right?
Yep, we have videos on YouTube, and we also have an email newsletter where you can get updates from us. And we've also started teaching Zoom classes. So, I mean, of course, I have this demo here, but if you'd like, you know, a little bit more personal one-on-one attention, I am teaching a Kumihimo beaded rope beginner class on Zoom. So if you've been on the fence, you might think about that. Let me find my graphic.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea. For any of you that have been wanting to do it, but just need that little bit of help to get started. that could be a really great way to do it.
Yeah, what's fun about Zoom is that you can ask your questions. You can show me your work with your
Mhm.
camera. You know,
Yeah,
so
I love that.
it's like we're there together, even though we may be far apart.
Right. Yeah, that's great. I that's always just so helpful to have an expert when you're learning something new, just to be able to sort of guide you as you get used to it. Once you get going, it's pretty easy, you guys. Like
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
really, if I can do it, you can definitely do it. Because I am not a complicated jewelry maker, as most of you know who watch me regularly. I'm mostly a stringer, and then I like to dabble in all these other things. But I always do maybe the most or the least complicated version of most things. And this is totally doable. You can totally do this for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the other thing I like about a Zoom class, rather than you know, like say like just watching a YouTube video or something, is that it puts it on your calendar and takes it from, oh, someday I'll do that, to this is the day I'm doing it. It's on my calendar.
So true. Yeah. And it's summer. It's such a good time to learn something new. I feel like summer, and maybe it's because I have kids, but I feel like even summer for me before, and that might also be that I lived in Arizona and you stay indoors more than anything in the summer. But I always feel like summer is such like a beautiful time to learn something new and just like be creative and open to the possibilities.
Absolutely. All right, so let me show you guys what happens if we get an oopsie. So here's my bead, and it's not tucked. I'm just gonna let it sit there, and let's act like I don't notice it. I'm just gonna keep on going, and I'm gonna try to like braid around it until at some point I'm like, oh no, I made a mistake. So okay, now I'm paying attention again, and I see that there's this bead here in the middle of my braid. What do I do? Step one, if you have a mistake, is just breathe for a minute and remember that there are no kumihimo emergencies. There are no beading emergencies. Everything's okay. And then we're just going to look at our point of braiding. So that's where everything comes together here. And I'm looking for the cord that's on top. So it's like physically on top of the others. That's the one that most recently moved. And I'm just going to take it back where it came from. I'm going to turn my disc and I'm going to do it again. So this one's on top and this one's on top. So I'm going to pull them back. And this time there's a bead there. I'm going to pull that out. It looks like there was a bead last time too. I just forgot to get it. So I'm going to take that bead out of there. And over here, take this back, pull that bead out. And then here's my bead that's sitting on top and go, what's wrong with you? And when I pull it back, see, oh, you just didn't get tucked in place. And you can just tuck it and move on. So it's really easy to fix oopsies too if you have any.
Dana is asking, are these the actual string colors in the kit? If so, it seems like the project would be a good starter as you can really keep track using the different colors.
Yes, I'm braiding the Christmas kit, and these are the colors in it. Every kit color has 4 different colors of string so that you can tell them apart. This is the Gathering Storm, and it's like white,
like
gray, black, silver, and then this was the sample necklace, like chartreuse, maroon, brown, and turquoise. So yeah, all of them have 4 different colors, and we did that intentionally to help you see it as a learning aid, so that when you're looking at your braid, it's just a reassurance that you're on the right track. So long as your colors stay with their partners, so partners are top, right, down, bottom, left, up, the ones that move as a set. If they're the same color and you set them up that way, well, then you know you haven't made any braiding errors.
Kelly was suggesting she added arrows to her disc to remind her which direction to turn, which sounds kind of handy.
Yes, I have had people put arrows on there. You're probably going to end up with more than one Kumihimo disc if you get going on this, because some projects you won't actually be turning the disc at all. Like this 16 warp project.
Whoa!
This doesn't turn. Everything just stays in place.
Oh, it's almost like a square Kumihimo.
Yeah, it's a trapezoid.
What? Whoa! Yeah. I love that. Oh,
Isn't that cool?
So cool.
So yeah, so arrows can be helpful for some people when you're learning, but you might not always want them as you go on. But you also might have more than one disc.
Okay, so here's a good question. Is there a formula for the number of beads for the length of a bracelet?
Yes, there is. It's very simple when we're talking about seed beads. You need half your finished length in beads per warp. So let's say you want an 8-inch bracelet, half of 8 is 4. You're going to put 4 inches of seed beads on every warp. And that rule holds true for seed beads when all of the beads are the same size. So if you wanted to do size 11 delicas and you wanted an 8-inch bracelet, you would string 4 inches of delicas. If you want to do it with size 8 seed beads, 4 inches of size 8 seed beads. And
so quick question here. It says, I came in late and I am very familiar with Kumihimo. She wanted to learn about the loop at the end. Are you using the satin cord or the soft touch craft wire? So I think if I remember correctly, you looped the Kumihimo end and then you are going to wrap the Softflix craft wire to hold it in place, right?
Yes. And I'll demo that. So this loop is this is our braid. So this is our nylon braiding string.
You're making right now. Basically.
Yeah. So it's here at the beginning, and then here's your beaded rope. So here's one this one's easier to see. Yeah. So we braided 2 inches without beads at the start, and then your beaded rope, however long you want your necklace to be, and then after we're totally finished, that's when we'll fold this over and make our loop. So actually, oops, I just forgot to put my bead in.
Susan's talking about loving one of your kits. So you want 4 inches of beads to 8 inches of cord?
No, not to 8 inches of cord, to 8 inches of finished braid. So the rule is you need half your finished length in beads. Let's see if I have any paper. All right. So for your cord, it's 3 times finished length, 1 yard minimum. You don't want to go less than that because you want to have room for like the knots and everything. So if you were doing an 8-inch bracelet, 8 times 3 would be 24 inches, and that is technically enough to do it, but string is very inexpensive. Cut yourself at least 1 yard, it'll be less frustrating. And then for your seed beads, it's half your finished length. So, for example, let's say you're doing an 18-inch necklace. 18 times 3 is 54 inches for your cord. That's 1.5 yards. And that's per piece. So you have 8 pieces. And then for your beads, half of 18 would be 9 inches. of beads per warp. So 3 times your finished length for your cord and half your finished length for your seed beads. It's in the kit instructions, and it's everywhere. It's in our starter videos. It's in our Beading Kumihimo starter guide. Yes, it's a pretty reliable formula for your beads and cord. So let's do the TV magic, and ta-da! I'm at the end of my project. So I've braided in as many beads as I want to make my necklace. And then I braided another 2-inch section, just like I did at the beginning. Now I may have some extra beads because I didn't count out my beads. I was using that measuring trick, so they weren't all exactly the same length. So I'll just take off those beads when I'm finished. So now that I'm done, I can unclip my center weight, and I'm going to unwind all my bobbins, untie these knots. And if you have any extra beads, now's a good time to take those off. Oh, and also the opposite of having extra beads would be if you needed a few more beads. So before you finish, before you start braiding your second section without beads, just measure this and make sure it's as long as you want it. And if you are short beads on a couple of the warps, just open up those bobbins and string some extra beads. This is a very casual project, just kind of easy breezy. We're not counting out all the beads like we sometimes do. All right, so I've taken off all the bobbins, I've taken off my center weight, and I'm going to pinch it underneath at the point of braiding. And I'm going to pop these cords right off the disc. I keep holding it there where I pinched it. And I can set the disc aside. Sort of like combing these with my fingers. Oh, it looks like I have still some extra beads that I forgot to take off. That's okay. And I'm going to tie an overhand knot. So an overhand knot is just where you make a nice big loop and then pull all the tails through the loop. And see how I'm pinching the end of the braid? Because I want to get that knot right there at the end of the braid. Now, I still have quite a bit of cord left over, so I'm going to tie another knot just a couple inches down. And I'm going to trim these here. And now this is probably enough for a bracelet, so I can just save that for later. So this is my braid and my 2 extra long ends. And now I'm going to bind. So I'm going to cut some binding thread. I usually use Nymo D. You can also use whatever beading thread you like 1G or KO. And I'm going to cut about like 1.5 feet, like 18 inches of my binding thread, and I'm going to fold it in half. And if I were going to glue an end cap on, I would bind it right here next to the beads. But since we're going to fold this over, I'm going to bind it down here. I would like this to be 2 inches. I got a little excited at the end there, so it's a little bit longer than it, but that's okay. So I have a ruler and I can measure. So I'm going to put my little loop right here on my braid at 2 inches. And I'm going to take the long side of my cord, and I'm going to wrap around the braid, and the short side of this little binding thread is just sitting on top. so it gets caught up as I wrap around. And I'm just going to go around like 4 or 5 times. And then I want to take this working thread and go through the loop that's under my thumb, but my thumb's in the way. So I'm going to reposition my hands. So as I reposition, I'm pinching those wraps. If you let go of the wraps, they'll unwrap. So I've repositioned so I can see my loop. The long thread goes through the loop. Oops, caught my finger. There we go. Go through the loop. And then pull the tail, and the loop closes. And just tug these in opposite directions to snug that up. And I'm going to put a little extra square knot at the end of this, like a right over left, left over right situation. And then you can trim your tails really close. Now, again, since we're just doing this live, I'm not going to do both ends, but you would bind both ends, and you would also ideally like measure and make sure that you're doing your bindings at the same place. Which I can never make two things matchy-matchy when I have an audience. I have to be by myself for that. It's the camera nerves. So here's my binding, and I'm going to trim right next to it. Every time you cut your braid, there's a keep side and there's a throwaway side. So make sure that you're cutting on the throwaway side, otherwise you just cut the binding off. So there's that. I'm going to use a thread zapper to melt the end of this. So I push this button and this little wire is going to get hot. And I'm going to just melt the nylon together. If you don't have a thread zapper, you could put a little bit of glue on the binding right down here. I've also seen people use a lighter to melt the end of their braid. I have never done it. I'm always afraid of burning myself with a lighter. I like all of my fingers just the way they are, so I don't ever do that because I'm afraid of getting a burn, but I know it can be done. But if I didn't have a thread zapper, I would just use glue. So let me open up my kit and get my wire. So you have two sizes of wire. We've got a 26 gauge. And here's our 18 gauge. We don't need the 18 gauge just yet, so I'll set that aside. All right, so I'm going to cut a 12-inch piece for this wire. All right, you want to fold over your braid. So this is the exciting part, right? We get to make our wire wrap loops. I'm just gonna fold this loop over on itself. And then I'm gonna go through one of these beads. So I'm gonna look and see which bead my end of my braid is standing on, and that's what I'm gonna feed the wire through. I'm just gonna go through about an inch. So that's, about as long as your loop is here. And then I'm gonna pinch these together. And we're aiming it for like 1/4 of an inch or 3/8 of an inch. And we're gonna take the longer side of our wire. So just really pull this so it's kind of like the wire's made a little U-turn here. And we're gonna start wrapping these tightly around your braids, and we're going to start working down towards the beads. Well, you know, your kit has extra wire for a reason. I lost the end of my thing. Where'd it go? Well. Let me try again. Okay. Fold it over. Go through that bead. Hold this up. And this time, hold on to it so I don't lose it. There we go. So I want to be able to see my wire here. I'm just going to go around. So I'm going around both pieces of braid and this tail piece of wire that's sticking up. And then we start going down towards the beads. And you want to be wrapping pretty firmly here. I'm just pulling with my fingers. I think that's easier. If you wanted to grab it with pliers, you could do that if that feels more comfortable for you. The wire's pretty soft temper, so it's not hard to manipulate with your fingers. So just gonna keep going.
Big thank you to Kelly for reminding everyone to like this stream. That always helps us as a small business, and Design and Adorn as a small business, to get seen more. So please do click that like button. You're learning something pretty fantastic from Rebecca. And it's a really nice way to just say thank you.
All right, so there's that there. And I'm going to, I like to just finish these off with a little spiral. So let me find my round nose. So if you're not into spirals, that's okay. You could just trim the wire off. But I like to take the round nose and just turn a little bit of a loop at the end. And then sort of like push it around itself a little bit. Just a little bit, and sort of press that down there. And then I'll do the same thing up here at the top. But this one I have a little bit of room, so I'm gonna trim that a little bit so my spiral doesn't get too big. Just turn that around and then just flip it over. Yeah, I like that. And then the S-hook we make with the heavier gauge, with the 18 gauge wire. And again, the kit has extra wire in it, so that you can do it twice if you need to. Let me just check the supply list here. Yeah, so it comes with 4 feet of the 26 gauge wire. That's the thinner wire, so you've got enough to do each end twice if you don't like it the first time. And then same thing with the S. So you've got double the craft wire, because sometimes I know for me with wire wrapping, sometimes I have to do it again. So for the S hook, you're going to cut a 2-inch piece of wire. Now, with your flush cutter, the back of it is what makes the flush cut. The opposite side of it will be real pointy. So hold on to this, and this end has been flush cut, and then I'm just going to flip this over, and I'm just going to flush cut the other end, which means to just snip off a teeny tiny bit. And I put my finger over this while I cut, that way that teeny tiny bit doesn't shoot up and hit me in the eyeball. So I'm going to take my round nose pliers, and I'm right at the very tippy tip of the pliers because I'm going to make a pretty small loop here. So I grab it with the pliers, and I'm going to use pressure from my opposite thumb as I rotate the plier, and your wrist only goes so far. So as needed, open it up and reposition your hand. So there's my loop, and then we're going to go behind that loop with the way back of the round nose plier. You're going to push this around, and we're starting to get this is the beginning of our S hook. And we come down over here, and this is the other big S, so we want to be way back here at the back of the plier. And you push this around, and then I need to make a little teeny loop here. So to make it easier to work, I just pull this open a little bit to give me room to get in here. So to make my little loop, I go to the very tip of the plier, and I'm working back this way. Again, you can reposition your pliers as needed because your wrist doesn't turn all the way around in a circle. So there we go. And the 18 gauge wire, it's pretty strong. If you wanted to hammer it with like a nylon hammer, you could, or if you had nylon jaw pliers, you could give it a little squeeze to work on it, but it's pretty sturdy as it is. So to use your necklace clasp, you're just going to take one side of your S hook, and you're going to catch this loop, and then that side I usually just like give a little push so that this is going to be the stationary side, and the other side where I have it open a little bit more, this will be the off and on side for your necklace. Now, personally, I think that S hooks are really best for necklaces. I don't know that I would feel as comfortable with it on a bracelet just because gravity could, turn it on your wrist such that it was going to fall off. But when it's on a necklace, it's not going to go anywhere. If you were going to put it on a bracelet, I'd probably squeeze this a little bit more closed. So yeah, I think these are fun. It's a nice way to wrap your piece, and I like the this organic style here. I've even been thinking about like other things you could do with it, like I don't know, like I took this pendant and I attached it to one of the little loops. So you could also, let me take this over here. If you wanted to wear your clasp in the front, if you had a pendant, maybe does it work, or do I have a logic flaw here on how this attaches?
It's coming. It's working.
Okay. All right. How do I do it?
Be patient.
Should I have attached it before I put the octopus on here? Yes. Yes, I should have. Open this loop. I don't have enough pliers over here. Put your necklace on before you open this. There we go. Okay. So attach the stationary side of your necklace, and then you can put a pendant on there. Yeah, it was a brief logic flaw. Yeah, I just saw this today in my collection. I'm like, oh, you can put different things on there.
Yeah, I love when I have those epiphanies, like about something that I wasn't expecting. How cute is that, you guys?
Yeah, so it's kind of fun.
I love it.
Different ways you can play with it.
Now you have a lot of different color variations. Are you going to show those to us?
Yeah. Let me see. Sorry, I forgot to load the photos before.
Remember, we've got a giveaway loading or going right now. You can find the details on the bottom. You can only enter once. I'll pick a winner at the very end, but you must be present to claim your prize. So stick around. Once Rebecca has finished up, I do have a few things I wanted to share with you going into the rest of the week. We have some new products. We have a new sale. And also an event coming up that I want to make sure you have on your calendar. Do you want a minute and I'll
yeah, you talk about your thing because I have to try to find my photos because I forgot to load them.
Okay, we'll do that. Okay, so first and foremost, we are kicking off Midsummer Market with the Great Bead Extravaganza. It is coming up very soon. I'm going to look at the dates to make sure I have them correct. Preview night is going to be July 18th, and then Midsummer Market is going to be the 19th and 20th. Of course, Kristen and I will be live on July 19th, and one or both of us will be using this kit for our design that day. We have a carnival-themed kit. It's beautiful. It is so sparkly. It is so colorful. It's a lot of fun, and it just kind of screams summer. It went on sale today. If you want to check it out and find it on the website, use coupon code CARNIVAL, CARNIVAL, to get 15% off the kit, the matching bead mix, which kind of gives you a little bit of a sneak peek at some of the colors that are in the kit. And then, lo and behold, I got an entirely yellow bead strand. You guys know how much I love yellow. So since it is a color that's in this kit, I felt like having a yellow bead strand to give that pop of extra yellow in with the design kit and the bead mix would be so fun. The kit does not contain this bead mix or this bead strand. They are sold separately in the TGBE kit. The kit itself has a mix of all sorts of other types of beads. So these are just an add-on that you can add in. And then, of course, that coupon code works with all three of those items, the kit, the bead mix, and the bead strand. Also, this was new last week when I was out of town. We put together a summer break kids beading kit. I did this because I have kids that are climbing the walls in the summer for something to do. They all love beading. So this is a great little kit that has instructions in it that you can actually send to a home with kids that you love, that you don't even live in, and they can break it open and do this on their own. It contains stretch magic as well as a lot of really lovely beads. So I wanted to make sure you guys saw that and are going to get one. We didn't make very many of them, so we're already kind of low in a supply, and I thought I better mention it while they're still around. And then yesterday, I received some beautiful beads from my friend Rosa in the gallery that are going to be going into the live sale this week. Those beautiful check glass beads there have never been shown before. They'll be in the live sale tomorrow that starts at 1 p.m. Pacific. Also, we'll still have some Green Girl Studio pieces, including this beautiful moth. And I wanted to point out to you guys that because they're pewter, you can bend them. It's a big piece, but it fits so perfectly on my wrist. I mean, it sits so nicely. It doesn't twist or anything because I made just a slight bracelet bend in it. Although you could totally use it in the center of a necklace or something like that too. But at any rate, we'll be talking about it a lot tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific to 3 p.m. Pacific. We will be showing you lots of new crystals, check glass still coming in from John at Dobbeeds. And then also a lot of new gemstones are in the house too. So we've got a really jam-packed live sale happening this week. Okay, let's get back to Rebecca now that she has her colors loaded, and let's look at some different colors for this kit.
All right, this one is Palo Verde.
Ooh, I like.
That's Gathering Storm. That's the one I was demoing with. And this one is Blooming Lilacs. And here
that's so pretty.
Yeah, I just love those purples.
Mm-hmm. With the copper too. Mm-hmm. Purple and copper are so good together.
And then this one is the Seafoam Picasso.
Ooh.
Silver. I think there's only one left of that one.
That pop of chartreuse in there is just fantastic.
And then this is the sample color. This is the turquoise Picasso that we put with the vintage bronze. And we're sold out of the Christmas, but I'm going to make more of those so we can do pre-orders for the Christmas colorway.
It's Christmas in June.
That's right. July by the time they're ready to ship.
Yeah. How fun. So many pretty colors. You guys have a lot of choices. Where can they go to buy one of these kits, Rebecca?
They can get kits at designandadorn.com.
So now is the time. Go grab one of these kits. Maybe sign up for Rebecca's class that she has coming up. It's a Zoom class where you can be there with her on Zoom, and she can help you learn the ins and outs of Kumihimo, and you can ask questions and with your own camera show what's going on.
Yep. And then the Kumihimo kit that we have that we just debuted. This is the Picturesque. So this is a project with delicate beads and this fun little spiral. And what's neat about this is that you learn how to reverse the spiral in your Kumihimo, which is very cool. These are a trunk show, these pendants that we're using for the kit. So it's only one more week that you can pre-order these. We still have lots of great styles to choose from. So that's the thing that we have going on. We have this is the Dreaming of Venice, and then a little something different that we have happening to go with our Dreaming of Venice kits is we're doing a virtual book club.
Ooh.
Fun. This is a free event. This book, The Glassmaker, it's a historical fiction novel, but it's about a woman who is learning to make lampwork beads.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, and it's set on the island of Murano, and I haven't quite finished the book yet, but I find it a really enjoyable novel, and I thought, how cool is that this book just like ties in
to the design.
Yeah, right. It ties into this necklace kit that we're doing, and it's really helping me like appreciate lampwork bead making on an even deeper level. So I just thought that was fun. So if you like reading and you like beading,
that's me.
You can sign up for that on our website for the virtual book club. It's not till July, so you still have time to round up the book and read it if that's something you're.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Very cool. Okay, I'm going to do our giveaway. So give me a second here, And I will get that up on the screen. Let's see who we got today. I'm going to give away one of these beautiful carnival bead strands. So let's see what we got. 61 entries. If you want to enter to win one of these beautiful yellow bead strands, could be a bracelet all on its own. It's so pretty. But I think it'll be fun to mix in the yellow, the pop of yellow, with lots of other things that are in that beautiful bead mix.
Oh, that's so pretty. Yellow's so cheerful.
I know. And I need cheerful right now. I definitely subscribe to the idea that the colors around you matter. And I am fully invested in like trying to fill myself with lots of color this summer. And I do think it helps. Okay, I'm ready to draw my winner. Here we go, everybody. When your name is chosen, please be sure to let us know you're here in the comments. We'll be looking for you. Carol on YouTube, please let us know you're here in the comments. You're going to email info@softflexcompany.com. Let them know that you won the Carnival bead strand. Let them know your shipping address so that we can get that shipped out to you as quickly as possible, and you can have some fun beading with it. And then I don't see comments rolling. Why is that, I wonder? Are you seeing comments, Chris?
I see comments.
Okay, good. Oh, there they go. Usually they go by real fast. So I was trying to see. If you catch Carol's, Christopher, or Kristen, will you add it to the screen? In the meantime, you guys, look how good this bracelet sits on my wrist. I feel like this is maybe my favorite bracelet I've almost ever made. It sits there so perfectly. It's so comfortable. I made it yesterday. I was meeting with Kristen, actually. And I don't know if the conversation was stressing me out or what it was. We're talking about different things for the calendar. I was like, I'm just going to bead. This while we're talking. And thankfully, it helped alleviate some of the stress and pressure. It's so comfy. Nice. It's really it fits like a glove. And I had made it a little big and I had to restructure it, and I like it even better. So if you love this moth and you want to make something similar, be there at the live sale tomorrow, because I think you're going to like it. I'll wear it tomorrow too, so I can show you guys again. I'm still not really seeing my comments at all. Chris, you're not seeing anything? Okay, so last chance, Carol, on YouTube, or we're going to give up on you and we're going to move on to the next. You guys can still be entering to win in the meantime, just in case Carol does not claim her prize. We will pick another winner. I'm going to give her about 1 minute. Do you have anything else coming up, Rebecca, that we should let them know about?
We still have some Beyond the Horizon kits. So if you missed the last party, you can of course watch the replay, but we have kits available of that. And let's see, we've got the Zoom class, we've got the Dreaming of Venice kits.
So much going on. It's exciting over there this summer.
It is. We've got all sorts of cool stuff happening here. And of course, it's summertime in Tucson, so the cactuses are blooming, and I love that.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna draw a new winner. Let's see what happens. Who will it be this time? Oh, I see so many familiar faces. Michelle on YouTube. Michelle, are you here? And to claim your prize, let us know in the comments, and we will get your information via info@softflexcompany.com. and let them know that you won. There she is. Yay. You won the Carnival bead strand, and let them know your shipping address so that she can, Terry can get that out to you. Awesome. Congratulations, Michelle. Congratulations to everyone who got a free class from Rebecca Combs today. You guys are all lucky ducks, in my opinion. We learned a lot today about Kumihimo, and those kits are pretty fantastic. I hope you'll go check them out. You can also shop on the Sofix Company website. Use that coupon code Carnival, I think it was, to get 15% off on all of the new Carnival items. And just sending all of you lots of love. Thank you for being here, Rebecca.
Thank you for having me. This was a blast, as always.
We always love when we get to spend time with you. And we'll see you back for Customer Appreciation Week in September,
Yes.
which is coming up so quickly. I have to send a reminder on that. It's on my task list for the week. But Customer Appreciation Week is going to be explosive this year. So I hope you guys all have that in mind mid-September for some fun as well. So I'll see you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern for our next Softflix live sale. Bye, everybody.
Bye.